From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. The state of Alaska today rested its case against the former tutor accused of raping two of his former students.
Claude Fowlkes has been standing trial for 3 days now, charged with multiple counts of sexual abuse of a minor, an offense that could land him in jail for the rest of his life. On the stand today was another of Fowlkes' alleged victims and a former student at Hutchinson High School. The 16-year-old boy testified about the abuse he allegedly suffered at the hands of his former teacher at the school. He recounted 7 times where he said Fowlkes abused him inside of the school's bathroom during lunch. According to his testimony, Fowlkes' abuse escalated after the second incident to rape. It was his case that prompted the victim in this case to come forward. The two boys will testify at each other's trials. Now, the defense called 2 witnesses today, but not before asking the judge to acquit Fowlkes on all charges.
The court will deny the motion and find evidence for the reasons set forth by the state at least meets the substantially similar threshold.
Construction on Cushman Street will continue throughout the next week. The project was originally scheduled to wrap up by the end of September, but weather and other issues have stalled construction. Contractors tapped into an unexpected duct bank midway through the project, which city officials say pushed it back 2 weeks. Curb and gutter work is now finished. Paving is scheduled to begin next Monday or Tuesday, taking around 2 days to complete. A big push to install sidewalks will follow. City officials say weather is expected to cooperate in early October, but have yet to establish a firm deadline for completion. City Planning and Permitting Manager Jackson Fox says paving late in the season during wet and snowy conditions presents risks, but engineers have researched the issue.
Instead of doing 2 lifts of the asphalt treated base and the pavement, instead of doing those 2 lifts separately, is to put it all down together as 1 lift so that it's a big thick pour, and that will retain the heat much longer so that it sets up properly and it does not degrade.
The Alaska Department of Transportation and Public Facilities is asking drivers to remain alert when driving past Margaret Antoinette Avenue on College Road. Officials say road construction is still on schedule despite the recent snow. All other construction projects in Fairbanks are wrapping up, according to DOT Public Information Officer Meadow Bailey, all except the project on Margaret Antoinette Avenue. Bailey says all that needs to be done there is to lay down sidewalks, paint the roadway, and bring street lights online. The project is expected to remain through mid-October. Bailey says that additional weather and snow should have a minimal effect on remaining construction efforts.
We can still pour sidewalk, totally dependent on the temperature. We can pour sidewalk and we can stripe if the temperature is warm enough. It's a complex project. We're on schedule, though, to complete it on time, and it's been going very well considering all of the different users that you have coming through there.
When we come back, the city election coming up next week will place a decision before the voters on whether they want to place a tax on the sale of marijuana.
Also, the Drug Take Back Day was conducted last weekend, and it was very successful not only for Alaska, but all of the Northwest. We'll give you the numbers, these stories, and more when we come back.
And welcome back. The October 6th municipal election includes one proposition for borough voters to decide, while City of Fairbanks voters will also weigh in on whether or not to approve a citywide retail tax on marijuana. The Fairbanks City Council passed an ordinance in late July to levy a 5% tax on the retail sale of marijuana within the city limits. City code requires that any new or additional sales tax levied by the council be approved by voters. A yes vote on Proposition A would allow the 5% levy, while a no vote would prevent a retail tax on marijuana. Meanwhile, borough voters will decide whether or not to amend the PM 2.5 air quality program through Proposition 1. Prop 1 would bar the regulation or restriction of solid or pellet fuel devices, as well as masonry or hydronic heaters that are EPA certified. It also provides accountability in the complaint process by disallowing anonymous complaints. If passed, Prop 1 would require a written complaint for wood smoke violations by people personally and adversely affected in a way different from that of the general public.
So that people can decide in the neighborhood what's wrong. Now, realize it's pretty broad. It's who lives in the neighborhood, who goes to school in the neighborhood, who works in the neighborhood, who rents. Everything is really covered if you're involved with that neighborhood. But we don't want to have the people in Esther going out to North Pole just to drive around and make complaints. And there were people that testified they were going to do that.
The Fairbanks City Council will decide on an ordinance to amend the mayor's compensation next week. The bill was postponed from the council's regular meeting last month. Councilman Jerry Cleworth introduced the amendment to the mayor's comp time pay after hearing citizens' comments regarding how Mayor John Eberhart allegedly uses his time. Fairbanks resident Donna Gilbert complained to the council regarding how Mayor Eberhart uses comp time to supplement his paycheck during personal events. Cleworth is an opponent to comp time for elected salary positions in the city. The Fairbanks City Council will take a vote on the ordinance at 7 p.m. Monday in Fairbanks City Hall. Mayor Eberhart was against the ordinance, which calls for an elimination to paid time outside of office hours. In September, he stated that having comp time is an important incentive for performing mayoral duties.
It would almost be a disincentive to work extra hours because you get no comp time for it. You can't get comp time to use in lieu of your personal leave. Don't give a disincentive to work extremely hard. We're very, very busy.
Today, Senator Lisa Murkowski implored her Senate colleagues to allow debate on the appropriations bill that funds veterans' health services and benefits. Ultimately, Senate Democrats blocked efforts to advance this bill, which failed to receive the 60 votes needed to proceed. Prior to the vote, Murkowski spoke on the Senate floor about the amendment she had hoped to attach to the bill relating to the failures of the VA healthcare system in Alaska. She expressed her desire to use the bill to increase the amount of money available for the VA to purchase care for veterans in Alaska from community providers when neither the VA nor the Choice Card program could serve their needs. She also planned to demand a Government Accountability Office investigation into why the Choice Card program is not working in Alaska.
I chose to focus my comments this morning on one area within the Milcon VA, and that's implementation of the Choice Card in Alaska and how it has failed our veterans so basically. But there is so much more. But again, if we don't have that opportunity to bring it up, to offer our amendments, to do our best to serve the needs of our veterans, we fail them. We fail a system.
Residents of the Pacific Northwest responded overwhelmingly to the most recent DEA National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Now on September 26th, in a 4-hour period, residents of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Alaska combined turned in a record-breaking 33,919 pounds or 17 tons of unwanted or expired medications for safe and proper disposal at the 171 take-back sites. About 250 pounds of drugs were turned in at the Fairbanks Police Station downtown during the period. During the 10 take-back days since the program started, Alaska has taken in 2,766 pounds of prescription drugs.
Okay, Joe Cook has sports, and the Nanook volleyball team got her done last night.
They won their first game of the year, and you'll see how they did it. Plus, UAF's swim team will get into the pool this weekend.
All right, all that and more, including the play of the week, next.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Time to start the weekend with the local Friday Sportscast. They say patience is a virtue. The Alaska Nanook volleyball team was rewarded for their patience and hard work last night. UAF hosted St. Martin's Saints on Alaska Airlines Court in GNAC play. The Nanooks went crazy from the service line. They served 20 aces, a match best in the GNAC this season and third best all time for UAF. Riley Podevich, the GNAC leader, had a career high 7 aces, as did Sam Hartoon. 4 players had 7 or more kills, including Maddie Davis, who had 11. Samantha Hesterman added a season-high 17 digs as Knicks continue to make plays, but down 0-2, the Saints avoided the sweep with a 7-0 run to end the third set. They rolled that into a 25-20 win in the fourth to force a 5th set. But Sam Hartoon took over in the 5th, generating 6.5 points in the set and finished with a season-high 20 kills. Alaska wins the final set 15-7 and the match. It's Alaska's first win of the year. They are 1-11 overall and 1-4 in the conference. The win stops a 15-match losing streak. It's UAF's first win since October 30th, 2014, which was also over the Saints. They finally got a W, but this team, they want more.
Everybody likes to get that first win. I'm not satisfied with it. I hope they're not satisfied with it now, but we got to be back to work. We have another team we're going to focus in on, Seattle Pacific, and we want another one. I hope we're greedy. I hope we're hungry for more. That's what we need to be.
We just decided to do it. we all did our jobs, we all worked hard, and we did what coaches said, and they're smart guys, they know what they're doing. If we listen, we're going to win.
Our hitters couldn't ask for anything better, and our setters distributed the ball. So yeah, we just played our game and got it done.
Next up for Natick Athletics is the swim team. The swimming squad will hold their inter-squad blue gold pentathlon at noon in the Patch Center pool tomorrow. After the pentathlon, they'll have 2 weeks off before they host 3 straight PCSE dual meets. First is against Azusa Pacific on October 16th. A key matchup will be against Cal State East Bay in November, which has turned into a bit of a rivalry. The Pioneers nipped the Nooks by single digits last year. UAF is stacked this year as they return All-Americans and Victoria Adams and sophomore and local product Martha Hood, just to name a few. They also have a lot of depth and talent in keystrokes, which is a big reason why head coach Scott Lemley believes this may be one of, if not, the best team he's had.
Well, the makeup, we have all the events covered now. In the past, one particular event that we could never seem to find a good swimmer for is the 200 fly. Our varsity record was set in 2006. And one of our transfers has our eye on that record. So we have every event covered now. So we're in pretty good shape.
We have a goal to win all our dual meets this year. That's kind of a team goal that we've put forward is let's win. Let's take back our home pool.
And switching to high school sports, and flag football teams were able to get in a couple of games this week after the storm. In the late game of a doubleheader, West Valley returned to form against the Hutchinson Hawks on the Hawks senior night. Charnette Sutherth was back in the lineup and hauled in 2 touchdown passes of 35 and 40 yards from Olivia Shellikins in the first and fourth quarter to bookend the scoring for West Valley. Shellikins also added a 50-yard touchdown run to finish with 3 total TDs and an interception on defense. The Wolfpack improved to 6-1 as they defeat the Hawks 18-6. And in the early game, Lathrop executed on both sides of the ball for a 22-0 win over North Pole. It's Lathrop's 6th shutout of the season. Offensively, Carly Fitzgerald led the Malamutes with big plays. She had 2 touchdowns and a pick. One of her scores went for 93 yards. Jaslyn Davis added a 72-yard touchdown run to ice the game. And there's a nice weekend of local sports ahead. Let's take a look at the rundown. For the runners, you can participate in the It Ain't Easy Hill Run. It's a free 5-mile or 11.3-mile run at the Dog Mushers Hall on Farmers Loop Road at 10 a.m. Saturday afternoon in high school football, number 2 Allison hosts Monroe for their regular season finale, and it'll be Dog Bowl Saturday at Lathrop Stadium. The flag football title will be on the line at 5 p.m. Then the varsity football game follows at 7 o'clock. Also on Saturday night, the UAF volleyball team takes on Seattle Pacific at 7 p.m. in the Patty Center. And Sunday, the UAF hockey team plays Mount Royal in an exhibition at the Carlson Center. Puck drop is at 3 p.m. Now we announce the POTW, the play of the week. This play rallied midweek in the polls. Sam Hartoon, moving into second place all time at UAF, was the leader up until Wednesday. But the Wolfpack fans have spoken. The play of the week is Brandon Van Landingham's fierce volley in the boys' doubles Region 6 title match. Van Landingham and partner Brian Ely defeated Lathrop Sam Greenberg and Jake Resilius in a 3-set tiebreaker to win this year's region title, the same title that escaped them last year. That's your play of the week. To vote for the next POTW, watch the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays on Mondays during the weekend recap. And that's all I got for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your 4-weather forecast. And as always, we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into a Friday night edition of the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again. We're talking about the weather, and today it looked threatening all day long. I thought we'd get some snow or some rain, but it never happened. We're looking at more clouds and maybe a chance of some showers through the weekend. And then after that, things look really good. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. One more shot of some sunflowers. These are really beautiful ones sent in by Cheryl Shepard. Interesting sunflowers because you don't see the center of them. Really nice photograph there, Cheryl. And as always, if you have a photograph you'd like to share with the audience, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. The numbers, 37 for the high today. We're warming back up again slowly. The low last night, 23. The record high was 70 degrees in 2003 and 14 in 1974. The sunrise and sunset, about 11 hours and 12 minutes. We'll go under 11 hours this weekend. I think today was a loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite and radar, you can see a pretty good flow of moisture moving across the southern sections of the state, but not that much over the interior. And that frontal boundary we were looking at yesterday just kind of blew apart, not a whole lot of support for it. There are some clouds and moisture back to the west. We'll keep an eye on that. But all in all, not too bad. And the latest radar, as you can see, will zoom in around the Fairbanks area and show you still got a pretty good westerly, southwesterly flow moving across, but no real strong showers in that at all. So things look pretty good for the rest of the night. Here's what's going on across the rest of the state. Well, skies are, for the most part, clear across southeast Alaska. Over the Anchorage Bowl, looking at some showers, and also there's partly cloudy skies at Kodiak. Also cloudy skies down along the Aleutian chain. And nice weather in Bethel, 50 degrees for the high there today, and 44 at the Nome area, 29 degrees at Barrow, and Fort Yukon, 34 degrees. Lower 48 weather, and you can see once again, not too warm around the Pacific Northwest, 60 degrees at Seattle. And look at this, they've dropped under the 100-degree mark for Las Vegas and Phoenix. Not too cool as around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Dallas 81 degrees. Denver at 79. Minneapolis 62. And again, all the focus is on the eastern half of the country. As you can see here, lots of showers and rain and heavy rain, flooding going on there. A little bit of activity moving across the Rockies, and the overall picture, we've been talking about this hurricane for the last couple of days. The good news is the latest prognostications are is that it's going to move out over the Atlantic Ocean, which means not nearly as much heavy rain as they were expecting first for the East Coast. That's good news. The overall jet stream, once again, doing the roller coaster routine here. Maybe some showers over the western half of the country, and then more rain, of course, across the eastern half. Time once again for our kids' weather, and all this week we've been talking with the kids from Barnett Magnet School, but tonight it's time for the teacher to give us an interesting weather fact.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Bennett, and this is my weather detective class at Barnett Magnet School. We have a weather fact to share with you. Class, did you know that even though the sky on Earth is blue, on Mars the sky is pink, it's yellow on Venus, and it's black on the moon?
Whoa! You got to admit that is pretty interesting. And again, as always, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather every night. Next week, we're going to be visiting with the kids from Crawford Elementary School. Forecast for Alaska for the rest of the weekend looks like scattered snow showers for Barrow, periods of rain for Nome, and mixed rain and snow for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at periods of rain across the region, probably more opportunity for that by tomorrow afternoon. Over southeast Alaska, just the opposite. Partly cloudy skies in Juneau, becoming mostly sunny at Ketchikan. To the southwest, it looks like, for the most part, rain for Cold Bay and Kodiak, scattered showers for Bethel. And down around the south central regions, rain for Anchorage and Homer, and we'll be mixing with a little bit of snow in the Valdez region. And our forecast for the remainder of the night, well, like I said before, we're not looking for a whole lot, just a few scattered rain and snow shower activity, mainly 33 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, warmer with periods of rain through the afternoon, close to 40 degrees. But look at the temperatures, 45 degrees on Sunday, also on Monday, and then leveling off at 40 degrees for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And overnight lows will also be fairly consistent for the most part. Again, you can see here we're looking at overnight lows right around 30 degrees, but no precipitation for Monday on. So that means they're going to have a real good opportunity to get those streets done downtown.
That's right. And you know, speaking of Monday, I do want to mention that there is a very big trial coming up Monday morning, the evidence trial of the Fairbanks 4. And of course, we will be covering that. There is a lot expected to happen in the next month with that case, and you know, you can tune in here every night and check us out on Facebook.
She'll be there.
Twitter, Instagram. We will have all the updates. So, yeah, it's set to be quite a large trial.
Yeah, she'll have her tent set up there.
She'll be camping.
Sure will.
Well, she's got an RV. She can probably.
You will not see me. You most likely will not see me on the desk. I will most likely be at the courthouse. So just stay linked into our Facebook page for all the updates.
Drop a coin in her little pan she has out there when she's walking by.
Absolutely. Drop by, give her a snack. All right, that'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
As I said earlier tonight on NBC Nightly News, torrential rains slammed the East Coast today, but Hurricane Joaquin looks like it's going to be veering out to sea. That's good news. That's up next with Lester Holt.
All right, be sure and join us and tune in tomorrow night for the weekend's only news and sportscast with Katie Looper and Mike Fussell.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.
Good night.